Okay, so this is Tropical Storm Ophelia right here. So, latest changes. The release says of the 8 p.m. advisory, we have a hurricane hunter in there right now. The wind pressure is down to 984 millibars. It's at 70 miles an hour right now. So, let me show you where it's at. Ophelia is located just south of, looks like Morehead City. We're going to zoom in real quick. I'll just go through my options here. Sorry for the poor quality of video as of right now, but this is best I got until I could come up with a better system of doing things. Go to, let's see real quick if we got any tornado watches or mesoscale discussions from the Storm Prediction Center. So we're going to check that out real quick. No valid mesoscale discussions, so they are not working on yet issuing a tornado watch. However, local advisories. Let's first pinpoint where Ophelia is real quick. Go to National Hurricane Center. Uh, let's see, get this down. There we go. Ophelia is located right there. So it should be making landfall somewhere around Morehead City or Cape Lookout area based on this cone of projection. And we could go to run our computer models. It might be just below hurricane strength, but anyways, we could have hurricane watches get ready to be posted well, actually, we do have hurricane watches already posted for the coastline right there, from Morehead City, point south uh, to looks like Wilmington. So let's get some data for the coast here. Let's see. Kind of doing this on the fly, so it's a little bit more difficult to do. All right, this is advisories for here, uh, Central North Carolina. We'll get to that real quick, but I want to get to the coast. There we go. We got tropical storm warnings, hurricane watch, pretty much for all the areas in pink. So that includes Morehead City, Cape Lookout, uh, Ocracoke, right here, Cape Hatteras, and up through Nag's Head, basically the entire Outer Banks, all the sound areas right there. So, on the hurricane watch, let's move it north. I believe we also have a. I don't think we have hurricane watches up that far north, but let's check the make sure the information is correct. Uh, let's see, hurricane watch. With rough waters for the counties. Okay. Morehead City, Newport Beach, Emerald Isle, and we got Steve's Ferry, North Topsail Beach, the Swansboro. So we know that. Hurricane Watch, Hoboken, Bayboro, Rapporo. I can't even pronounce that word. Oh Lord, here we go. Definitely not my best video, but Newburgh, Havelock, Fairfield Harbor. That's about it for just basically right around the Morehead City. It may not include yet so I'll kind of refrain at least from including the Nags Head area. Let's just double check that. Not yet the Nags Head area, so I was mistaken. So let me check Cape Hatteras right here. Uh, let's see, Cape Hatteras. No hurricane watch yet for Hatteras, so it looks like around the Morehead City area in particular is under that hurricane watch. So Yeah, pretty much around the Morehead City area. You got so many colors happening on this map right now. It's absolutely crazy. The storm surge warnings right here. So a lot of data happening. We got tropical storm warnings. Basically from interstate parts of Interstate 95 to the west of where we're viewing here, to all pretty much all points east. So that's where tropical storm force conditions are expected. Not for the Sanford, North Carolina, not for Raleigh, not for Lillington here, but not for Fayetteville. So those areas are clear as of now. Zooming out, let's go to the Tidewater area of Virginia Beach. There we go. We got pretty much we got storm surge warnings there. So they're expecting some surge flooding, low-lying area, coastal areas, all up to James River, the York River right there, uh, the Rappahannock River right here, even the parts of the sun. Looks like they're coming up to the southern parts of the Potomac River, up this far north, but nothing for the Patuxent River up toward Lexington Park here or Solomon's Island right there. Nothing there yet, but definitely around about the Chesapeake Bay, storm surge warnings, and all this whole area is under tropical storm warning to include Solomon's Island in Maryland, and also to include Ocean City and east of Maryland, also Chincoteague to the south, here, there in Virginia, and then of course the entire Tidewater area is tropical storm warning. Got got looks like a flood watch has been issued for pretty much the Richmond, Williamsburg area. Probably also under flood watch. So majority of this area is probably under flood watch. Expecting some really heavy rains up here in the Tidewater area. So I would say be advised. Watch for some flooding rains. Watch for a little bit of surge flooding. So far, this is definitely not an Isabel situation. Certainly well below that. Certainly not a Hurricane Floyd. Also below that, or even a Fran. Definitely not of those calibers. But this is definitely going to be more of a nuisance storm. I think maybe it could come in as a low end Cat 1 hurricane. Uh, let's actually get some radar and satellite imagery on Ophelia right now. And we'll check it out. Uh, this is some radar. So computer models have it coming in about approximately uh, 8 o'clock, maybe between 5 and 8 o'clock in the morning, around Morehead City area. We can run models while we're here on this, so we can get an accurate idea. So let's run some radar. We can see if the storms really intensify. What I focus on with the storms is pretty much some lightning flaring around. It looks like this is the center of the storm. So let's put this in motion and see what we can confirm on that. Yep, there's the center right there. It appears to be I trying to develop. It looks like the convection is starting to try to wrap around the center there. We are getting a little lightning that was on the west side, but now circulating back around to the south. And then eventually, if it starts rotating and covering around to the east side of the center out here, that indicates that we are dealing with a strengthening storm, which I do believe it is strengthening because we do have pretty good sea surface temperatures. Switch off to visible. Well, that's blue. Let's go to infrared and then see if we see any blow up of reds and oranges around the center. Let's see. Let's see what it's doing here. That's definitely the center right there. Looks like it may have weakened there, but it could be adjusting some dry air, interacting with some land, but not a lot of at least based on that latest satellite image, but it probably has to refresh. But I'm seeing there's still a lot of electrical activity. These are cloud to ocean lightning strikes happening on the ocean right now. So I see a thunderstorm try to develop around the center. But if you look at this looks like there could be some dry air wrapping around into the east side. So for this storm to get really organized, it would definitely have to start closing this dry air section off for it to really start to get its act together. But I think really before that happens, probably in the next 10 hours, it's going to run out of the ocean and come ashore probably in the next 10 to 12 hours. So I'm not sure how much longer it's going to have before it does that. However, let's go back to radar here. Radar is pretty much confirming what satellites detecting. Then we go well offshore, and then we have looks like perhaps some feeding coming in well offshore, but as a part of the storm. But it's going to be kind of far out there. That looks almost like a frontal boundary out there. But I have to double check all that. Yeah, that's a looks like a squall line way out there. But the storm is kind of somewhat organized, but it's is somewhat better, but it's not really. This isn't really that impressive, but overall, but it has shown strengthening throughout the day. But as far as I'm concerned, North Carolina's seen bigger the deals than this, but that's pretty much Ophelia what we're looking at now. I'll probably have a more comprehensive video in the morning, but right now let's what see if we can get some computer models. Go to my Fox Hurricane here real quick and see what the deal is. Let's check out some offshore wave heights out there. Yeah, it's a bad day for boating. As you can see, we got 18-foot waves just offshore of Wilmington. We got perhaps up to 20, up in the 20s on the northeast of the center, and then on the southwest of the center, also in the 20s. Looks like as far as wave heights, that appears to be well historically. Actually, almost always the stronger part of the storm is the right side and the front side. So typically the right front quadrant of the storm. This is the center. This is the right front quadrant. Usually that's pretty strong. So having the added wave heights on the northeast side, that's to be expected. It's pretty behaving pretty much normal. Then well, right where those thunderstorms I showed you, remember earlier, where all the lightning and stuff was, then we'll probably get some good gusty winds in the southwest quadrant of the storm. So I'm not surprised to see 20-foot waves in those thunderstorms out there. Is getting organized around the center of the storm. So not at all surprising right there. Then let's look at some computer models, so spaghetti models, see where this thing is headed. Uh, a lot of these it looks like a lot of the models are split. Let's take a good close look at it. Looks like it's definitely coming into North Carolina. Then once it gets over Virginia, some of the models split it, have it going up toward the northeast, probably right over Baltimore, then out toward and then pushing back out to probably around Delaware or just south of Jersey, perhaps Delaware Bay, then shooting off way off to the Atlantic. Others have it going inland. I would say if it takes this track, the flooding and rain threat and the gustier winds are definitely going to hit more the Washington, D.C. area, Richmond area. We'll have to watch out for more flooding rains. And also the tornado threat. Anytime that the storm center passes to the west, almost always on the right front quadrant and on the right side of the circulation. In this area here, you have to watch out for increased tornado threat because that's the stronger side of the storm. And then that's where you have to keep an eye out for that. So Tidewater area, based on these computer models, I'll say Tidewater, Williamsburg, and maybe even Richmond will have to watch out for heavier rains, flooding rains, and possibly even a later tornado threat as tomorrow, especially into tomorrow. I would say Richmond, Williamsburg, and Tidewater. But for tonight through the overnight into tomorrow morning, definitely North Carolina. In the late morning into tomorrow afternoon, I'll say that the threat will evolve and push north into Virginia. So that's my official forecast based on what we're looking at the models. Let me zoom out. We're going to run my favorite computer models. We're going to run the European forecast model. That's right. Always accurate, always reliable, has not let me down. That's right. The European forecast model. So here we go. Run the European, the world's most accurate at this time. Let's see let's get a zoom in on that and see. That's where Ophelia is now. So let's rock this forward. That's the date and time. That's it. Right now, 8 p.m. That's as of an hour ago. Let's rock this forward. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. It looks like it's just about ready to come on shore. Then we'll rock it forward to 8 a.m. Yep, now it's ashore. Now we're going to keep the European model playing forward. It's working its way inland. Now 2 p.m. It looks like it's just south of the North Carolina Virginia line. We're moving it forward, weakening a bit. It looks like it's just crossing into Virginia by 8 p.m. Now it gets interesting. It looks like we're having a ridge of high pressure building to the north. So we're going to check into that, see what's going on there, see if that's going to slow it down. Where is it going to turn it? Looks like it's probably down to a tropical depression by 2 a.m. on Sunday. And perhaps even stalling an area. I don't really see it advancing forward. That would be bad if it stalls because then by Sunday at 8 a.m., if it's still in this area, it's going to rain itself out. This could be a significant flood problem for the Mid Atlantic, D.C. area, down to Frenchburg, Virginia, and even the Delmarva Peninsula, including Ocean City, Baltimore, D.C., that whole area from Richmond points north including the Tidewater area, depending on if it stalls over the Chesapeake Bay in that region, could be a significant flooding problem. So that would have to be watched. Let's move this forward. Does it still go anywhere? Does it still go anywhere? Looks like it completely dies out just about over by 2 p.m. over the central Chesapeake Bay area, possibly. According to European model now, it's pretty much no more Ophelia by 8 p.m. Sunday, according to this run of the European forecast model. Now let's see if the American GFS, about the second most reliable model, disagrees with it. So I know this is long-winded, but I promise I would give a good review here of this. And we're going to get ready to wrap this video up, but just want to give you all a good heads up of what's possibly coming. GFS, or do we have agreement here? All right, this is as of an hour ago, 8 p.m. It's 8:59, so approximately an hour. Let's move forward. At 2 a.m., it looks like it's approaching the coast. 8 a.m., it should be either made landfall or in. Moving this forward, let's see, we're 2 p.m. It looks like it's getting ready just south of the Virginia North Carolina line. And then it looks like it stalls to the south. See, we got a ridge of high pressure to the north. It may stop that storm cold. Let's see where this goes. Looks like it's stuck the Virginia North Carolina line, the center right near the Tidewater area. So that's going to shift the rain and flooding possibly more toward the Tidewater area. It's even for us here in North Carolina. So if there's more central Virginia, maybe make it up to Frenchburg and D.C. But if it stalls there, it could be a problem for that area. Maybe not as far north. Let's rock it to Sunday at 8 a.m. Okay, finally it crosses into Virginia. It's more like the central Chesapeake Bay, but still not making very good forward progress at all. Let's keep it going. And then it's pretty much dead by 2 p.m. Sunday. Ophelia's gone. It fizzles out over the Chesapeake Bay. High pressure involved. We might still have some rain in the area, but as far as most of it, it's gone. And by Monday at 2 a.m., high pressure continues to build in the area. Ophelia is pretty much history. So there you have it. That's what the differences in the models are saying. European model is saying that it's going to go a little further north and die, where the GFS is a little bit more conservative. It's having it move slower and then die potentially over the central Chesapeake Bay, but becoming more of a flooding problem for North Carolina. So I think the story on this is going to be mainly the rain temperatures. Let's see Ophelia's fuel source. Let's take a look at these Atlantic water temperatures. As you can see, very warm, 84 degrees. Out here in the Atlantic, it takes 82 degrees or more to strengthen the tropical cyclone. So this is definitely within the criteria. Certainly, this points out the Gulf Stream, so we can actually get more detailed sea surface temperatures. Looking at it all, and then let's see right here. Go to my other app here. All right, let's go to allow that. Let's go to water temperatures, sea surface temperatures. That's going to tell us a lot. I don't expect. I mean, it is intensifying, but I'm not sure if the storm's going to meet your rapid intensification criteria. However, it's been doing pretty good thus far. But I think a lot of that has to do with the ocean temperatures. Let's see what we're dealing with. All right, 81 degrees, that's enough to maintain a hurricane. 80 is enough to maintain. So at 80 degrees, it's enough to maintain strength at least. Ophelia is located about right here, between about the 82, 83. So then this is the Gulf Stream. So if Ophelia was located back here around 84 degrees, I would say that it has a better chance. It would have a better chance if Ophelia was located here at 84, 85, of strengthening to a stronger storm. But I think as Ophelia marches forward, it's going to go into decreasing sea surface temperatures, but it looks like around 80 degrees, so maintaining or slightly strengthening for sure. So that's the environment that it's in. And then so that's pretty much it for Ophelia right now. Our current conditions here, it is raining here where we are at. Our top wind gust today thus far has been up to 20 miles an hour. Still shy of tropical storm force winds, but outside that, I think I'm just going to keep an eye on it throughout tonight and see if this thing goes to Hurricane Ophelia. And if it does, I might get a video uploaded to you later on tonight. All right, thank you for joining me, and hope you all enjoyed this video, and hopefully it gave you a lot of information. And then thank you for joining the boss, and then hopefully with some daylight tomorrow as it comes in, if I can get some daylight, if I see anything, well, I'll get it on camera. If you get anything here in central North Carolina, but I think the action is going to be on the coast. But I got things to do around here locally, so unfortunately I can't storm chase. Can't do it, not this time. But hopefully we'll get a chase in sometime this year, or maybe severe weather season next year. We could even have some winter storms, but I plan on doing some chasing. Hold on here. Gotta wipe that lens off. Gotta clean my camera lens. It's starting to get a little grimy. But anyways, thanks for joining me. Y'all have a good one. Take it easy. Boss out.